Yeah.
Mighty.
This is mine.
I want that in the middle of the road.
Where's the sleigh? Good mood.
You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Tamaiti Christmas in the Streets is brought to you by Flow, unwrapping holiday happiness. That's Christmasing.
Jamaica, make we do the right thing. Make we live good today for a better tomorrow. Talk it out, don't fight it out. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:30.
So what were the big stories covered on Lead Story in 2024 in its first full year? Well, we have a chronology for you. We have a top few, won't tell you top how many just yet, but we've chosen some of the biggest issues we've covered over the course of the year as we presented this show to you. And today, I count you up to what we feel was the number one story of the year and the number one story covered here on Lead Story here on CVM TV. Let's start the show as we review the best of 2024. Welcome to Lead Story here on CVM TV. It's the Year in Review edition. It's perhaps the earliest year in review that you'll see anywhere in media. 2024, of course, was hugely eventful, both in Jamaica and the world. Today, though, we'll focus on local happenings. It's the last time you'll be seeing me here on Lead Story for the calendar year. And the team, led by the producer Jonathan Atkins, they've picked 5 major stories. I did say I wasn't giving it away early, but I'm giving it away early. 5 major stories for the year that was 2024. Let's get right into it. There's no package to build up to the meat of the matter, so we're eating the meat right now. At number 5, a scholar, private sector leader turned politician. Many wondered if he had the political chops to cut it at this highest level. But Dr. Nigel Clarke proved the doubters wrong, and easily one of Jamaica's most popular finance ministers, Jamaica's most lauded finance minister, without argument, worldwide, and a valuable asset to the Holness administration. The public, though, caught by surprise when the announcement came that Clarke would be leaving the finance ministry and heading to Washington, D.C. to take up a job as Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund. Now, you heard the critics speak, and say, well, he's not the first Jamaican to work at the IMF. Nobody said he was the first Jamaican to work at the IMF. What was said was that he was the first Jamaican to serve in such a high position as second in command at the IMF, and that is an unassailable fact. So Clarke, the first Jamaican to serve as Deputy Managing Director of the IMF. Boo-hoo to the critics who said we were behaving as if he was the first Jamaican to work at the IMF when nobody said that. Now, Dr. Clarke stopped by here on Lead Story to discuss the reasons for the move and the timing of the move. And here is his take on what he felt was necessary for his successor to be successful in the finance ministry. Individuals stepping into the role as Minister of Finance must have the ability to say no and to explain why no is the answer.
You have to understand it enough.
Yes.
That you can explain it.
Yes.
Right? What happens is you don't understand it really, right? And so, you succumb, right? So you have to be able to understand it in depth to be able to explain no. You have to respect the technocrats. That's the biggest advice I would give.
Yes.
Respect the technocrats in the Ministry of Finance. Do not run roughshod over them. Okay? They have a lot of experience. They've been through Jamaica's dark days and its brighter days, and they know what they're doing.
It's not your job to make the appointment. It's not your headache. That's Andrew Holness's worry. Is there the talent? Are you leaving a government with the talent to put someone in place at the Ministry of Finance who can do the things that you've said will lead to success?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Remember that, we have discussions at our cabinet level. People are familiar with the policies that are in place. And there are certainly persons who are capable of making the right decisions. What's important is that they get the support. Everybody's going to be looking for somebody who has, it's not going to be like me. I'm a different person from John Brown. I have a different background. I have the, one benefit of coming to this job having had a very broad-ranging private sector experience that's multi-sectoral, meaning work, had, agriculture, manufacturing, insurance, banking, a full range of commercial experience. Other people will have other advantages, right? The key is just the discipline to make sustainable choices.
That responsibility falls on Favour Williams now. She was appointed to succeed Dr. Clarke. That is known news. And he outlined what it is that the qualities she needed to possess, independent of trying to emulate him. He says, look, he's unique. We know that. Favour Williams brings her own character to the post, her own qualifications, her own expertise. And I can tell you that she is not attempting to emulate Clarke. The Clarke supremacy is not what she's about. She's all about doing things her way. And so far, I haven't heard anybody complain about the start that she has made. So a significant thing in the year 2024. We started it. Nobody would have thought that we would have lost the finance minister, Dr. Nigel Clarke, before an election cycle. That's indeed what happened. And the timing caught many people by surprise. But Clarke said, well, look, it had to be done now because the IMF came calling. They had spoken to him directly. And it's a call that he answered, given that he felt it was necessary to make that move at this time, given what he had achieved in the finance ministry up to that point. All right. At number 4, after the passage of Hurricane Beryl, many Jamaicans, particularly those in southern parishes, well, South Manchester, Southern Clarendon, and South St. Elizabeth, were left without electricity and other things for months. Yeah. Then there were those who, despite not having electricity, were hit by heavy light bills, and those who had electricity throughout the period who were also hit by heavy light bills. The revelation was made that during Beryl, JPS had switched to the more expensive automotive diesel oil to fuel their generation work instead of liquefied natural gas LNG, which was cheaper. And the Minister of Energy, Daryl Vaz, and the JPS at points appeared to have been at daggers drawn about how long the switch was needed for. Yeah, the use of automotive diesel oil as opposed to LNG. Now, the OUR, Office of Utilities Regulation, was of course front and center in that issue because of course they are the utilities regulator in the country. And Vaz openly challenged the JPS and the OUR about how both of them had gone about treating paying customers of the JPS. Vaz appeared on the program to discuss the issue of the light bills, the use of the fuel source, and whether or not customers were getting a fair deal from the JPS with their Beryl light bills, and whether the OUR had fallen asleep at the wheel in terms of performing its role as watchdog in a matter as important as that. Let's hear from Vaz. Number 4. The JPS has been given a set of directives by the OUR. In a letter to you, the OUR wrote that the JPS has been directed to reduce the fuel charge for the September bill by the difference in the fuel cost in July over June, and bills with zero consumption that do not show a corresponding zero money value should be reissued. Point by point, I wanted to simplify that for the viewers watching you today.
So the truth of the matter is that it seems that OUR and myself are on the same page. It is something that I've been calling for and longing for me. And the fact of the matter is what it is a redress for the customers of JPS until such time as the OUR, which should have been consulted and was not consulted, are consulted, and they do their deep dive in relation to the numbers for the August billing, and advise them as to what they are prepared to sanction or not. So, as far as that is concerned, I think that is a big win for the customers of the JPS, and obviously a big win for us in terms of the advocacy that I have done on behalf of the government of Jamaica and the people of Jamaica.
So let me get you clear.
What is important?
Let me get you clear.
Important?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What is important?
Yeah.
what is important is that in doing that, they have suspended the disconnections until September 15th from August 15th. And the fact is that I would expect that there would be a resolution before that. And if not, then it means that until such time as there is a full resolution, the disconnection should be extended if needs be.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful, based on my discussion with the OUR head yesterday and my discussion with the JPS president this afternoon, that we all seem to be on the same page.
Thank you for that. What I wanted you to also do is to, when OUR says JPS has been directed to reduce the fuel charge for the September bill by the difference in the fuel cost in July over June, what are they saying? Are they saying that the fuel charge which applied to bills before Beryl, that is the fuel charge by which the bills should be computed and not the fuel charge that the JPS came up with after Beryl?
That's correct. That's my understanding, and in speaking to the OUR head and the JPS president, I am confident that the OUR instruction will be carried out, and the OUR and the JPS will have further discussions in relation to how the mechanics of that will work. But at the end of the day, that's what is expected. And the most important thing for me, George, is I'm not celebrating for the customers of JPS based on the release. I am going to monitor this to make sure that what they say is going to be done is done. And on top of that, to get to the end game, which is to find out what is really the increase for that cycle that the customers should be charged.
Daryl Vaz there, number 4, the Hurricane Beryl light bill issue, or the Beryl light bill issue, if you may. All right. What about number 3 now? 2024 will go down in history as an election year, not a general election year, but a local government election year. And the temperature in the early months, January and February, hot indeed, because on February 26, the local government elections were held, long overdue as it was, and it stirred up the political pot. The PNP and Mark Golding seem to have made a significant move forward in terms of recapturing the hearts of Jamaicans, because it appeared on election night as if they had won the local government elections. The PNP, they captured 7 municipalities and the JLP had 7. The PNP, though, declared themselves winners by virtue of having won the KSAMC, which was the crown jewel, of course. They won that, they won the KSAMC, and overall, the KSMC was one of 7 municipal corporations that they had control of, the JLP having 7. And so the PNP they marketed themselves as the winners of the 2024 local government elections. And their supporters were adamant that regardless of what the EOJ or any other authority said, the PNP did indeed win the election. The JLP, of course, didn't see it that way. Here's what the governing party had to say.
It's a local government election. There are 14 local authorities in the country. One of them is the city municipality of Portmore, a very large local authority. And the other 13 are the municipal corporations, which are the parishes, including Kingston and St. Andrew, which is a single municipal corporation. So there are 14. We won 7. The JLP won 7. The 7 that we won include KSAMC, the Kingston and St. Andrew, which is the prize. And we'll now have a PNP mayor of the KSAMC. We won the city municipality of Portmore, and we won all the others to take us to 7. We won the popular vote across the country. What does a popular vote mean? It means that in Jamaica on Monday, over 21,000 people, more people voted for the PNP than the JLP on Monday.
Our process of local government is not determined by the amount of votes you get. Not determined by the amount of noise that you make. Our system of local government is based on the party that wins the municipality. That is the party. That is what matters.
Divergent views over who won the local government elections, and that's really the story of that event, really. No daylight between the two parties, and the PNP did oh so well. And of course, there was an incident on the election evening when, you know, they were declared winners, and, you know, they never let go of that. But in truth and in fact, the EOJ, based on their numbers and their assessment, the JLP was pronounced as the winner, but the PNP still to this day believe that they were the party who emerged victorious. And you have to make an allowance for how they feel about their performance, because they went in with significantly fewer municipal corporations than the JLP did, and then coming out even. So it's really a moot point, the fact of who won the local government elections for 2024. Break time here on Lead Story. We're reviewing some of the biggest stories we covered over the course of the year. We have number 2 and number 1 after these.
These days, challenges are everywhere and things are constantly changing, but independent living remains the same. Rising above physical challenges, we can help you do it. For years, we have been Jamaica's trusted provider for solutions to improve patient care, safety, and general quality of life. No matter your age or your physical limitation, we are the caring store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
Leaks, accusation, counter-accusation, point, counterpoint, speculation, wild speculation, raw partisan politics all came to a head September 17 when the Integrity Commission dropped a bombshell, a report on the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. Even before that, though, there were questions in the public domain about the leaking of aspects of the report just a week before it was tabled in the House of Representatives. Claims, accusations were hurled, speculation about the source of the leaks, the intention of the leaks, and that dominated the news cycle. When the details of the report were finally made public, the Prime Minister rose to his own defense in the House of Representatives, and he dismissed accusations outlined in the report prepared by the Integrity Commission that he was in some way shady in his statutory declarations, in his financial dealings, which is why his declarations could not be certified. The opposition, they were chomping at the bit to lay into the Prime Minister on the floor of the House of Parliament. They did not get that chance, and the matter ended up in the courts with the Prime Minister seeking leave for judicial review of the findings of the Commission in its report, asked the court to strike down, to compel the Integrity Commission to certify his statutory declarations. Now, while he did get leave to seek judicial review of the report, he was not granted space for, the court did not agree with his request for it to order the Integrity Commission to certify his statutory declarations, making clear that, look, as the court of the land, the courts of the land, it could not so direct a commission of Parliament to act in a certain manner. All right? A lively discussion was had here with two representatives from two of the country's leading entities in terms of accountability, and Anti-Corruption. Jeanette Cole represented JAM, Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal. Daniel Archer represented National Integrity Action. And these ladies had sharp perspectives on the issue of the Prime Minister's statutory declarations as captured in that explosive September report. Let's go. Is there anything in the report that has given you cause to ponder on whether the Prime Minister is of the requisite integrity for the office he holds?
Well, what I think we need to look at, George, is when you look at this report, and as I've consistently said, it takes a lot of reading to find the different areas. If you're looking at things that give you pause to assess the situation, I noticed that the report used 3 kinds of assessment to look at his income. And they looked at a period being 2018 to 2023. So they looked at the entire period and they used different mechanisms to assess whether or not there was lawful income or explainable income, and then try to see whether or not there were any trends in the increase in what he lawfully was able to have and what his lifestyle reflected. So when you look at the report, and being very honest with you, George, when I went through this report as a lawyer, I was flabbergasted. I was shocked at the intensity of the work that seemed to have gone into the assessment of the income. So they used this thing called reference analysis, where they were looking at the transactions and they were looking to see what the transactions spoke about and were there any trends. And then they looked at witness statements and they got a forensic accountant to examine specific transactions. And they wanted to see whether or not that's objective enough. So they did another test, which is called a net worth analysis. And so when they looked at the net worth analysis and they took up all the statutory declarations that the Prime Minister had filed, they sought to see whether or not there was any discrepancies between what was declared and what was the actual status of his financial standing.
Is there a place for leaks to a media house in a healthy democracy, regardless of its size?
I would say to you, in an instance when there is, well, you don't have to guide me on the ethics of it, but I've always felt, George, personally, you started by saying, Jeanette, you understand how the media works, and one way in which it works is that the media contacts me whenever there's something they would like me to comment on. I've never called the media. So for those who often complain about JAM cherry picking what it speaks on, I respond when the media, I had to say that, George, yes. I respond when the media calls. Yes. Now, many times, the very media host who has leaked this particular matter have called in the past. So this is not the first, second, or the third. And I've always said to the producer who calls, JAM is about accountability, particularly around what? Adhering to government rules, procedures, and protocols. And I've always said, folks, it seems almost hypocritical for me to come and comment on a report where there is a breach of government protocol, rules, and procedures. So for JAM, my policy and our internal policy is that we do not comment until it is before the House. So that's one. Number two, can there be an instance when it serves the public? I am not so sure I would agree about a report that is intended for the Parliament. So for example, this tends to happen with Auditor General's reports in the past. Now, there is nothing in the legislation, specifically the Financial Administration and the Audit Act, which addresses the roles and responsibilities of the Auditor General. There's nothing there to make it punishable by law if a media house were to prematurely leak a report. However, in the case of the Integrity Commissions, our parliamentarians have exercised the wisdom where it is illegal and it is unlawful. I am coming down on the side that in this instance, I do not believe it was healthy. I don't believe it was in the interest of the people of Jamaica. And here is why I say that, George. Yes. This leak is not about information that would not see the light of day if not for this leak.
So divergent views on the issue, and then you heard those views of those two ladies. No divergence in real terms between how they saw the report, and as we told you about the court action that followed later. Of course, you know that in recent weeks the Prime Minister has, he did seek and did get leave to apply for judicial review, even as we know that the application for the Integrity Commission to be ordered to certify his statutory declarations, the court said no to that it would be bad policy, not bad policy, bad lawmaking, a bad move for the court to instruct the Commission of Parliament how to act. So what about number one? What about number one? June 28, 2024, that day perhaps changed the trajectory of the year. Well, not perhaps, it definitely did. Our economic situation wasn't the same after that, and many people's personal finances have yet to recover from that day. The passage of Hurricane Beryl, Miss Beryl, if you may. She ravaged southern Jamaica, the agricultural belt, destroyed crops, flooded homes, infrastructure damaged, the JPS put under tremendous pressure, and the frailties of the country's electricity grid were laid bare. Jamaicans subsequently faced high food prices, an economic slowdown, and the misery index. It rose to one of the highest levels in recent years. Even the telecoms companies were also battered in the process. Let's take a look back at the edition of Lead Story, which we focused on the impact of Beryl. Well, no, actually, the eve of Beryl touching down southern Jamaica and causing severe damage of the kind that we're still picking up the pieces from.
When we went into Port Royal, a lot of persons had actually left to say that they were getting out of the community. Even though we wanted more people to go, but it is getting better. And a part of it is that because of media and how connected we are internationally, persons are seeing for themselves live image as to what systems are doing in real time to other countries.
Yes.
And remember, in our days, when you talk about like Gilbert and stuff, you would be waiting for a newspaper information from some other country.
Okay, we're introducing two of our reporters to the discussion now, Adrian Williams and Ramon Gordon. They were both out in the field and doing the Lord's work on Wednesday.
Ramon Gordon here, still on location, reporting from New Haven in the vicinity of the Haney Park. As you can hear, the winds have certainly started to pick up, and the atmosphere has certainly changed here on the ground. Residents have retreated indoors as they're now bracing for the incoming storm. Still very averse to evacuations. They're saying they're going to be staying home, they're going to be banking on their community, they're going to be banking on themselves. You're saying that the light post is shaking?
Man, yeah, it dropped down already. It look out all light, and now we just see two of them just rock. So that means anytime it can come down and appear fire.
Hurricane Beryl, the most significant event of the year. All right, so that's the top five story. Well, that's a top five. The top five stories that we carried over the course of the year on the program. On behalf of the production team, I want to thank you for the support. We've been getting a lot of feedback, largely positive. There are things that we know that we need to improve and which we commit to improving for the new year. But it has been a very good ride so far, the initial year of Lead Story. We haven't celebrated our 1 year anniversary just yet, but that is coming up. And we think that we have done well to give you programming that you can look forward to. People, they say the days of appointment TV are dead. You watch it when you want to at your own convenience. We want to make this appointment TV, even though it is available on YouTube and other platforms, post the live airing of the show. So again, a big thank you from all of those who've worked on Lead Story over the course of the year. And we promise to come back bigger and better in 2025. Bye.
With rebroadcast Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Nothing else can quite match up. Monday Match Night, powered by Sunshine Snacks and ABC Electrical.
What would you do if a date asked you how much you weigh?
Leave.
It was going so well until...
Ask him how much his mama weighs.
All new Family Feud.
Get Sagicor School Companion Health Plan for as little as $2,540 per month. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
Tonight
tonight in CVM News at 7. Police making headway in recent Westmoreland murders. Experts tapping into research amid continued quakes. Climate change chewing away at our mangroves. Also this evening, in the business report, small biz, big dreams. And in sports, Montego Bay United and Ver United clash in final JPL match before Christmas.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record or beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
It's been 3 years.
Come on, D. I have it. Let's go.
My baby. Son of my baby. Oh my goodness. Them feeding you over there though? Your favorite. Welcome home, son.
This is home.
Christmas is made of moments for the family. Sign up for a home fiber bundle for as low as $7,399 plus GCT and get installed. You could win a bag of things valued at over $400,000. Digicel Plus, better connected this Christmas.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Monday, December 23, 2024. Thanks so much for having joined us. It's an abbreviated newscast making way for CVM TV's Monday match night at 7:45 p.m. as Montego Bay United take on Ver United. We'll, of course, have so much more in sports. The Westmoreland police are pursuing several leads into the gruesome murders of 2 individuals in the parish, leaving residents in shock. Shante McNeil reports on the latest developments.
Tension is rising in Westmoreland following 2 brutal murders, including the shooting death of a pregnant woman at her New Hope Little London home on Sunday. The woman was said to have been heavily pregnant when she was killed. Commanding officer for the division, DSP Neil Dobson, shared the details on the gruesome incident.
The Westmoreland police is investigating
the circumstances surrounding the brutal murder of 32-year-old Lastia Grant of New Hope, Liquorland and Westmoreland. Reports are that about 4 p.m. Sunday, December 22nd, 2024, 200 men on a motorcycle drove up to her home and after a brief conversation, opened gunfire, hitting her multiple times before escaping on the same motorbike. Miss Grant was 7 months pregnant.
Residents have since shared that they believe the incident stemmed from an earlier machete altercation involving Grant's partner and another man over issues related to their teenage daughter. The officer, however, explained that they have been following several leads on the matter and hope to make a breakthrough soon. Meanwhile, in Sav-la-Mar, police are still probing the murder of 57-year-old Dr. Ong Nang, whose decomposing body was discovered Sunday in his apartment in Landile, Westmoreland.
Dr. Neng, who was last seen approximately 2 weeks prior, was found after residents reported a foul odor emanating from his apartment. The police, with the assistance of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, gained entry to the apartment, where the body was discovered with multiple stab wounds. Preliminary investigation revealed no sign of forced entry, and it appears nothing was removed from the apartment. The investigation remains in its early stage, and detectives are working tirelessly to piece together the circumstances surrounding this tragic incident.
Nang, originally from Myanmar, moved to Jamaica in 1997, beginning his career at Kingston Public Hospital before working at Sav-la-Mar Hospital and Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover. Investigations into both incidents are ongoing. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
Since the beginning of 2024, Jamaica has recorded 300 earthquakes, most of which went unnoticed. The latest tremor, which occurred on Monday, raised concerns on social media. But what does this mean for Jamaica? One expert explains that the island's seismic activity is largely due to its geographical location. Britannia Witter has that report.
A powerful earthquake struck Jamaica early Monday morning, shaking buildings and causing panic among residents in several parishes. The tremor, which registered a magnitude of 6.1, was centered approximately 165 kilometers north of Ocho Rios, at a depth of 10 kilometers according to the University of the West Indies Earthquake Unit. The earthquake occurred at 1 a.m. local time and was felt across several parishes. Fortunately, there have been no reports of damage or injuries. This tremor comes as Jamaica continues to grapple with other natural disasters, including heavy rains that caused flash flooding in several areas earlier last month. Dr. Kevin Tanku, head of the earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, highlighted Jamaica's vulnerability due to its location when compared to other Caribbean countries.
We're located in one of the more active zones, which is why we have quite a significant record of these earthquakes here. So compared to the Eastern Caribbean, we tend to experience greater seismicity, particularly in the smaller earthquakes. So the Northern Caribbean, particularly in our zone, we tend to record significant activity compared to other areas.
He reassured that efforts are being made to further understand the science behind earthquakes.
We are on our way to understanding better, particularly in Jamaica, our tectonic zones, the interaction of the different faults and the mechanisms that drive some of this tectonic activity.
In the meantime, citizens can contribute by sharing their experiences through the various available channels.
We urge citizens to report any damage. You can do this either through your disaster coordinator for the parish at the parish level, to them or directly to us. We normally also circulate a felt earthquake form, and this form is very important in us understanding intensity as it go across, or at least perceived intensity across the island. This is definitely something that's helpful. So once you see that that's circulating, or you go to our website, the felt event form, please fill it out. It helps us in the long run in terms of how we actually understand intensity and variations in ground shaking across the island.
Britannia Witter, CVM News.
In 2022, it was reported that Jamaica's mangroves were valued at billions of dollars. However, Jamaica may fall short of this money as the country is slowly losing its mangroves. There are agencies, in fact, that are trying to improve that situation, and Trisha Gay Kelly will tell us how.
The Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation, CCAMF, through research, has discovered that much of Jamaica's mangroves are dying or are already dead. This reality experts link to the deleterious effects of climate change. CCAMF Senior Scientific Officer Donovan Hay says the barrier reef located along the Salt Harbor Bay coastline is vanishing.
And as that reef erodes, the protection against the incoming waves is no longer available. A living reef would continue to grow and keep up with climate change and sea level rise, but the reverse is happening because the reefs are dead and they're eroding away. More wave energy is being allowed to come in.
But the mangroves are no match for the strong waves, which strengthen when natural disasters come. He says as a result, the waves destroy whatever is in their path, most times mangroves.
We need to recognize what is happening before our very eyes, because it may be happening at a slow pace, but over the last 20 years we've lost significant resources, and if we don't take serious steps to try and reverse the trend, the loss like this is going to continue and get worse over time.
This is exactly how Jamaica lost some of its islands. Short Island disappeared shortly after Hurricane Beryl, and the others are now under threat. The agency, however, has been working to restore what they can, but they fear it's not enough.
We have tried to take steps. We have tried to replant mangroves. We've tried to create barriers and to protect the seedlings, to allow them to grow and reestablish themselves before the storms come. But in every event, without the protection of the coral reefs and the barrier that provides, we invariably lose those mangroves. So it's going to take a Herculean, multi-pronged effort to have any real effect at reversing the damage that we're seeing.
CCAMF collaborates with the Portland Bight Discovery Center, which protects mangroves stretching from Clarendon to Portmore, St. Catherine. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Now, amid calls from residents of Mile End in St. Anne for road rehabilitation, Beechertown Division Councillor Ian Bell is blowing the trumpet on what he calls the slow infrastructure recovery on poor management. He says it's mainly due to what he deems the allegations of poor management by the municipal corporation. Courtney Lewis has more.
This trench-like path was once the roadway. It's a bizarre sight for some, but for the residents of Mile End, it's their normal. As seen in previous CVM reports, the road conditions have caused a damper on the quality of life. And the councillor says, despite his best efforts, the municipal corporation remains unresponsive to the residents' concerns.
The mayor made a commitment to the residents that by Monday, yesterday Monday that is gone now, would be 4 weeks that he promised them that the machines would be here to give them at least a relief so that they can traverse in and out even for the holiday season. The Finance Committee of Council approved an estimate of $9 million to do some remedial work so that the residents can traverse the road. I have been asking every day since that what is happening, why something cannot start.
Bell accused a senior-ranking member at the corporation of allegedly playing foul in the disbursement of funds for rehabilitation.
She brought a document to the Finance Committee to rent a building for the planning department for $1.5 million per month. $1.5 million per month. And the Finance Committee said no. So because I was one of the leading person that said no, that is why she's standing up. Yes? And this estimate for the people to continue to suffer.
When CVM News reached out, the senior officer wished not to comment. But St. Anne's Bay Mayor is cautious about a sustainable recovery.
The source of the damage, and the source of the damage seems to be water being diverted onto that particular road. So until that situation is resolved, whatever we spend on that road is going to be money down the drain.
However, the municipal corporation has allocated funds to provide a solution and suggests contributions from the parish political representatives.
In the interim, we've approved over $3 million from the municipal corporation funds to alleviate the situation temporarily for the residents.
Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Stay with us for more CVM News at 7 in a moment.
JUTC, we're not just buses and schedules, we're people who care about your journey.
At the JUTC, every journey matters. And this holiday season, I'd like to say special thanks to you all for your continued support.
Thank you for riding with us. We are ensuring that our buses are fit and ready to take you safely to your destination.
Thank you for being a part of our community. We will assist you in your commute.
Good morning. Thank you for trusting us to get you to your destination safely every day.
Thank you for riding with us. From our family to yours. Merry Christmas!
JUTC, your route to excellence.
For Christmas is...
Wait, Chris and Charles has great loans and something extra special this season? Yes, we're spreading joy to everyone. Starting November 1st, 2024, get a low interest rate Christmas loan and a special reward just for you. Call 876-926-0609 or visit our website for details. Better hurry, conditions apply. Stocks are limited. Promotion ends December 23rd, 2024. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Christmas is your two-front seat, your two-front seat, your two-front seat. At Jamaica Pegasus, your two-front seat for Christmas comedy cook-off.
Thursday, December 26th at the Grand Ballroom of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Gates open 6 p.m. Showtime 7:30 sharp. Call 876-542-4160 for ticket info. Christmas comedy cook-up, serving up laughter.
At Jamaica Pegasus, your two-front seat for Christmas comedy cook-off.
Welcome back. We take a look now at what's trending on social media. So, what's trending in our local social media spaces? A 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck off Cuba's coast early Monday, with tremors felt in parts of Jamaica at about 1 a.m. The epicenter was located approximately 165 kilometers north of Ocho Rios, St. Anne. Here are some of your reactions. At West.Indian says, never felt a thing. At Divine in Beauty shares, that earthquake was like a thief in the night, LOL. God is good regardless. God bless Jamaica. At LX Rain posts, my mother was right. When God come, I blow him trumpet, me definitely I go sleep through it because I unwa make me know say earthquake happened last night. At WeSee_babe22 comments, me said oh shake you know. At Ray of Sunshine writes, God is giving us a warning. And at Dr. Perrialt adds, nothing like having an earthquake wake you out of a dead sleep in the middle of the night while on vacation in Jamaica. That's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM_television on Instagram. I'm Courtney Lewis. Thanks, Courtney. It's now time for regional and international news. We begin with news in the region. In Guyana, video evidence has contradicted claims by former President David Granger that he never declared victory in the 2020 general and regional elections. Here's Newsroom Guyana.
Tonight, 8 p.m.
GNU and AFC have come to tell you thanks. We worked hard. We covered all of the regions. We laid out our plans. You know what we stand for and you supported us. Over the next 5 years, we are going to make life better for you. We are serious about our promises to you. We want you to have a better life. This is not about oil, this is about Guyanese living a decent life.
In international news, a man has been arrested in New York in connection with the death of a woman who was set on fire on a subway train in Brooklyn. Details from the BBC.
This all happened around 7:30 in the morning yesterday as the train approached the last stop in Brooklyn. That's when the suspect walked up to the woman, lit her on fire using what appeared to be a lighter, and then stayed on scene watching her burn from the train platform. The victim's clothes became fully engulfed in a matter of seconds, and police say there appeared to be no interaction between the victim and her attacker before she was lit on fire. Nearby officers saw and smelled the smoke. They immediately ran over to investigate, used a fire extinguisher to put out those flames, but sadly, the woman died on that train. Well, later in the day yesterday, a person of interest was taken into custody thanks to the help of 3 high school-aged New Yorkers. These teenagers saw the person of interest on a different subway and called police. Police eventually stopped that train and arrested the man. He was wearing the same clothes as he was seen in earlier and was found with a lighter in his pocket.
That's it for regional and international news. We take another break, but more to come.
Hypro, farming is in our DNA. So we know the value of all you do. Whether you're an experienced farmer, the farmer just starting out, or the farmer looking to shake things up, we're supportive and understanding of your needs, adapting to whichever path your ambition and innovation leads. And we're experienced enough to guide when needed. We're here to support you at every step, providing high-quality feeds, chicks, farm supplies, and technical support. That's why Hypro is here to make it easier on farmers. Hypro. Let's get it done together.
What up, where the cake smell nice? Herc? How me look a bonus day? I put you say me I'm home on computer. What kind of Christmas you have where you can't even touch your friend them?
Grandma, not like back in your days. Boring.
Little boy, don't make me have to beam you back to earth. You know, back in my days, we used to have fun. We used to gather together in the district and ramp. At least me could have touched my friend them, and we used to blow the fifi.
Grandma, what is fifi?
Look, boy, come help me decorate the place before your parents come for you. Come.
Grandma, you know what I want for Christmas? I want the iPhone 16 Pro and an Xbox Series.
Why? Uno nowadays pick me. Come we go take a selfie.
Grandma, you know about selfie?
Of course we know about selfie.
Make this season one to remember. Sharing love and laughter. Merry Christmas from Bank of Jamaica.
It's been 3 years.
Come on, D. I have it. Let's go.
My baby. Son of my baby. Oh my goodness. Them feeding you over there though? Your favorite. Welcome home, son.
This is home.
Welcome back. Well, it's now time for our business feature with Adrian Williams.
Today's Small Biz feature gives insight on a car cleaning service taken on by a university student. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this Small Biz Big Dreams. Thank you for joining Small Biz Big Dreams. Today we're going to be speaking with someone who's going to be giving us details. Not just any details though, but details about his business, his small business. What's his big dreams? We're going to be finding